We were designed to experience love. Love that is patient and kind, not dishonoring others, but rejoicing in the truth. It is not proud or rude or angry, but rather this love protects. It is said that this kind of love is eternally trustworthy. I dream of a love like this. When I find it, my life will have purpose, hope, life. But is it true? This pure love, is it real? If it is, I don't deserve it. I am unworthy. Who would ever love me like this? No one can understand the chaos of my past. Life has no safety, no kindness, no purpose, just pain. I only know shame, hurt, rejection. I have never seen true love a day in my life. This honorable love must be a myth, and I, the least deserving of its comfort. So who cares? Who can love a girl like me? Who will come to my rescue? He promised me everything, made me feel chosen. He told me I was beautiful and that he was the only one who would love me the way he does. I thought he was my only hope.
Trafficking situation here in Denver, Colorado, it's pretty prominent. Unfortunately, we have, like I said, an epidemic going on here. We're seeing girls and boys recruited from young ages. We're seeing them pulled in and forced out onto the street, forced into going to addresses that they don't know, meeting people that they don't know, having to do things that they wouldn't even dream imaginable.
Sex trafficking is a reality here in the Denver metropolitan area.
We have a real problem, both in our culture and here in the Rockies. Men and women are exploiting other men and women, and boys and girls, even as young as 3 months old.
And what we found just from looking at 2 websites that advertise sex online, that there's 485 massage parlors in the whole state of Colorado. That is more than Starbucks. There's 481 Starbucks in the whole state of Colorado.
It's close to a $45 billion industry. In Colorado, here in the Rockies, we are also a major consumer of trafficking.
I think that a lot more trafficking is happening here than what we think it is. Trafficking is such an underground operation that many times you don't even see it.
We knew that trafficking was an issue. It's in every major city, every small town, but really what was the depth of this problem and what were the current solutions on the landscape?
People tend to think that trafficking is in the bad parts of town. And what I always tell people is trafficking's in all parts of town. It's in your part of town.
Girls and boys both being exploited. It used to be a 80% girls, 20% boys. We're starting to see that really drift to where it's about 60-40, 60% girls, 40% boys.
So because of the climate, the national attention that's being drawn right now to human trafficking, we believe that God is preparing us and preparing this community to fight against this great evil.
So I started my trafficking when I was really young. My trafficker was somebody that was very close to me, somebody that was supposed to protect me, and they obviously didn't. I didn't know the difference when I was younger. You know, I thought it was normal. I didn't have time to build healthy relationships or know what positive relationships were in life. My innocence was taken away from me when I was really little.
One of the things that's really sad is the average youth today will experience their first encounter with sexual violence between the age, on average, between 15 and 16 years old. And this sexual violence doesn't come from something that they inherently know. It comes from their exposure to pornography.
Our culture is saturated in pornography, saturated that it's okay, saturated that it's just normal.
Pornography is now the first and only free and unlimited drug ever in the history of mankind. That's significant. That's the only drug that's ever been free and unlimited. And the only barrier is your ability to get to it. And for the most part, you know, especially in our culture, everyone's walking around with cell phones.
It allows a person to not see that person as human anymore. And it really kind of sets up the whole trafficking industry. Because if you can see somebody and they're not really a person and they're not really human, then yeah, you'll do whatever you want to do with them.
The pornography consumption, just even in our school system, not today, this year, 9 out of 10 boys and 6 out of 10 girls will graduate high school regularly consuming free and unlimited broadband internet pornography.
This is a problem. So imagine this, you have a 15-year-old boy who starts watching porn, understands that this is how girls like it, and as he continues along and gets more and more and more and more addicted, by the time he's 25, 30, 40, is it totally out of the question for him then to go buy a girl, beat her, choke her, rape her, do all of these things when he has been taught his whole life that this is what girls like?
At some point, it's going to come off the screen. It has to. It's just a matter of time.
I always say we will have women to rescue if we don't tackle the demand and we don't free the buyers from the addiction of sex. Most people don't understand that pornography is the lead driver in men having sexual addiction.
Social media is probably the most used vehicle of traffickers to groom their victims.
What they'll do is they'll just start up a conversation. They'll start a relationship online, a friendship, to where they become so dependent on, this is the only person I can talk to.
I know whenever I was in high school and middle school, I would have loved the affirmation. I was so insecure. All my other friends were insecure with me, and social media just kind of fuels it sometimes, especially if you're the girl who's not getting all the likes, if you're the girl who doesn't have all the followers. Social media is a trap, and it is a paradise for pimps and traffickers.
A bad guy, a groomer, if you will, all he has to do is go on Instagram, go on Snapchat, and tell a girl she's pretty.
A lot of times, the way that girls get into this issue or get trafficked is because they trust someone. And I would say to someone, how many men in the world would a teenage girl trust? Well, what if I was a man and I said, you're beautiful? How many teenage girls would, some of them might think it's creepy, but how many teenage girls would fall for that and go, oh, well, he's kind of interested in me, especially if I have any type of identity issue, which, trust me, girls in this city, in this part of the city, absolutely have those issues.
They groom them to believe that they are the only person that can really truly understand them, that their parents don't understand them, that their friends don't understand them.
Some women, they can do it as quick as 2 weeks. Some women, they'll take a whole year to groom her in, to slowly bring her in, to manipulate her, to start taking her away from her family and friends, to start offering her drugs.
For instance, if a trafficker can go ahead and gain that submission from their victim, then they don't necessarily have to go ahead and utilize other means to have that person do what they need them to do to make the money, which is very much a generic way to say lots of pain, lots of suffering, lots of evil, and lots of control over that individual that the most people in society today would not fully grasp or understand.
They almost seem like a hero, like they're catching this victim and they're holding them, and they're gonna be the one that's gonna protect them and save them from these problems. And it's good for a couple of days, but after that, they switch.
What a lot of traffickers will do is called gang rape the women. And so they bring in a slew of men and gang rape her because they want to de-soul her. So she is numb to sex, so she's numb to the effects of it.
They isolate them from their families. They pull them out of their social groups. They don't even let them have control on when they eat, when they sleep.
She just doesn't believe she has hope anymore. She just doesn't believe that she can ever even imagine herself being out of the situation that she's in.
They threatened my family. They threatened anybody that I was close with. They threatened to kill me. You know, they definitely prey on anything that we care about. So they use their scare tactics to keep us under their control. And with the promises of, oh, I'm gonna take care of you, I'm gonna take care of you. But then if you don't do something right, they may get physically violent.
One survey done over 9 countries that interviewed prostitutes and sex trafficking victims, 68% had the level of PTSD of that of combat vets.
Everyone's trauma looks different. Something that traumatizes me may not traumatize them, and so it's about knowing that.
They will make sure they don't leave, and they have very cruel methods to make sure that happens. Beating, raping, getting them to a point where they're so fearful that they will never walk away.
So I've seen these traffickers strip kids down naked, put them in dog kennels. I've seen them parade them on all fours naked with a dog leash and collar around their neck, throwing them out into snowstorms without any clothes on, just to prove a point and to make an example out of them for the others.
It is such a power of anger and just abuse, and there's a power and struggle will that they have that shows you what domestic violence looks like at its fullest and how it just continues in this circle.
A lifespan of only 7 years. Once you enter the industry and you've been taken into the sex industry, 7 years is the life expectancy of these young people. So imagine going in at 14 and maybe you're not alive in 7 years at the age of 21.
And it's a horrible psychological thing to deal with, to know that if I don't do something that this gentleman wants, my family could get hurt. You know, and it's an isolating feeling because you don't want harm to come to people that you love. And that's what these traffickers do. They try to hurt everybody and everything that you care about or love in life.
Here at the National Christian Foundation, we really want to see God work and move. That's why we exist. NCF is our whole desire is to see each person reach and restored by the love of Christ. When we think about that mission, and we think about moving the needle against sex trafficking here in the Rockies, those come together beautifully. So our desire is to see human trafficking eradicated here, and then to take that across this whole country and the world.
And so it's just an honor to be here for such a time as this, to be launching S.A.F.E Rockies and be at that place where we're just about to really dive in head first and help these victims come out of the trafficking situations that they found themselves in.
When you can genuinely look at people in the eyes and say, I will go the distance and I will do whatever it takes for this kid, just one person, then it doesn't feel so daunting.
Try to take a threefold approach to where we're going after trying to recover the victims, making sure that we're pulling them out of this lifestyle. We're going after the demand side as well, to where these Johns and these people that are sex buyers, they're going to be held accountable for what they're doing as well and creating part of this problem. And then we're also going after the distribution or the traffickers themselves.
So in our community, we have a lot of trafficking going on. We have limited resources. We have a lot of very, very, very broken individuals who are just doing their best to get by. Without organizations like Covered, I definitely wouldn't be progressing the way that I am today.
I'm really excited about the work of S.A.F.E Rockies. To see a collaborative approach brought to moving the needle against this great evil is super encouraging to us.
It takes a village to be able to do this. We have some people that do it great, and we want to partner with people that do it great. We want to be able to do it as well, so we need input. We need people's knowledge and their wisdom.
We are excited to be bringing all of these groups together, bringing the community together through nonprofits, through the business, through law enforcement, through, at the state level, we'll be working with state prosecutors. We have to be reaching across the aisle with those that are doing all the research. It's going to take faith-based and non-faith-based groups to get this job done. We can't do it alone. We all need to coalesce, to come together, to drop down those barriers that are keeping us from working from one another and be about the victim, not be about ourselves, but be about the victims that we're coming to save.
And so for me, I'm excited because one of my heart passions is to foster that collaboration, to build bridges where divides exist, to work together, to begin to see how we interweave and are interconnected within what God has called us to do. So for me, S.A.F.E is exactly that.
That sounds like collaboration. Wait a minute, that sounds like unity. That sounds like we're coming together. We're bringing all the different heroes, superheroes with their superpowers together. We're bringing all the Avengers together to fight, one common enemy. And to me, that whole idea is powerful, that I don't have to have all the answers. I don't have to have all the solutions. I don't have to have all the resources.
I believe S.A.F.E is absolutely the best possible thing that any city could have for human trafficking. I believe it pulls in all of the necessary pieces.
There are some incredible organizations that are doing incredible work, and there's nothing that has happened that has put all of these nonprofits around the same table together except for S.A.F.E Rockies, and it is so needed to be able to make a larger impact in Denver.
So we believe Denver is a stake in the ground where we're going to see the spirit rise up, and it's going to spread through the entire country, bringing hope and freedom to those men and those women that are enslaved.
After hearing everybody's stories today, I really would hope that those of you that have a heart or are feeling urged to invest in S.A.F.E Rockies, that you will do so knowing that your generosity is being sown in a safe place. We're going to be vetting all of our organizations. Anyone that's a part of the Alliance is coming to be a part of us because they want us. It's a movement. It's not about their organization. It's a movement to eradicate trafficking in the Rockies.
I think it could really, really, really change a lot of things in Denver. I think it would save a lot of people's lives. It would definitely save a lot of souls, So I think that it's nothing short of amazing. I wish that something like that would have been available when I was younger, because I probably wouldn't have been, I probably would be a lot further in my healing process by now, if it was. But now that it's about to be something that's real, it's amazing. And I just want to help any way that I can with it.
Every girl wants to be chosen, But evil preys on this desire, pulling, luring in the innocent with a counterfeit version of love. But real love pierces the darkness, provides a way for the hopeless, and always perseveres. True love is safe by definition. Thank you for showing me the true source of love, worthiness, and dignity. Thank you for giving me purpose, hope, and life.